Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah if you're new here, and in today's video we're just gonna have a discussion, a little chit chat about reading slumps and what I do specifically to get out of a reading slump. A reading slump is, if you're unfamiliar, a time where you just don't feel like reading, or everything you pick up just isn't sparking that joy that normally fills you when you pick up a book, and you just can't seem to read, or you can't seem to enjoy the act of reading right now. This is a tough thing when reading is one of your hobbies and or your primary hobby. And so in this video I'm going to be talking about my experience with reading slumps and what I do to get back into the groove of reading. Have bookish related tips and tricks as well as non-bookish related tips and tricks. Transparently, it has been a long time since I've had a true reading slump where it's gone on for weeks or months of time where I can't read, I don't want to read, nothing is sparking joy, I'm not enjoying anything. I definitely have those moments, those up and down times, but I don't sink into reading slumps that often or for a very long time. I can usually take a break for a couple days and then get right back into reading, but I know that's not the case for everyone. Here's what I do when I'm like, The first thing that I do is, if I'm still in the reading mood, but I'm just not enjoying what I'm currently reading, is to switch books, switch genres, switch authors, switch to something completely unlike what you were previously reading. I'm a variety reader, if that makes sense. I read a ton of different genres for this reason. I need to kind of mix up the tone and the pace and the style of books I'm consuming to keep my interest, to keep me engaged in the act of reading. Sometimes between those hard fantasy and sci-fi books, I need a romance to spark some joy, and just mix things up a little bit. The second tip I have is don't be afraid to give up. It's okay if the book that you're reading is not working for you, and it's okay to put it down either temporarily or permanently. That's all right. I DNF all the time for petty reasons, for legitimate reasons, and sometimes for reading slump reasons. If you're just not feeling it, it's okay to just set it aside and try something else. Number 3 is pick up a short book. Why not? If you still want to consume something in book format, read a short story, a novella, a short novel, fan fiction, read, or sometimes fan fiction is way longer, but pick up something quick and easy that you can feel accomplished having completed. I will always be a huge proponent of recommending audiobooks in general. Sometimes if I don't feel like reading, I will kind of I don't mean this in a bad way, but I kind of like put on an audiobook and then I like turn my brain off. Sometimes for certain books I can do this with, where I just let the story kind of like wash over me and I don't think about it too hard. And you can't really do that with physical books. I feel like with physically reading books, you have to engage with the text a little bit more because you're actively reading. But sometimes with certain audiobooks, you can kind of passively listen just to get through if you're kind of starting to feel out of sorts with reading in general. Typically, I try to engage more actively with my audiobooks, but if I'm really starting to slump, I will sometimes just like zone out, turn off my brain. 5 is find a comfort reread. I have so many books I reread. I love to reread all the time, and sometimes just to get back into the reading mood, it's nice to read something you've already read. You don't need to, again, think about it too hard. You enjoy the story. You just have to consume it again. And sometimes that is enough to kick your brain into gear and to excite you about reading again. Number 6 is nothing gets me more excited than seeing other people's excitement about books. So I highly recommend BookTube, bookish content in general. I primarily enjoy bookish content via YouTube, but however you engage with other people who are excited about books, there's nothing like watching someone else be excited about a book or a topic or something that gets me excited about it too. And so when I need a little boost, sometimes I'll just binge watch somebody's YouTube channel or a couple of videos just to see their excitement about books and kind of take that in. It's also a great place to get recommendations for things that maybe are outside of your comfort zone that you're wanting to try, and incorporate some of the other tips from earlier in this video. I don't necessarily recommend TikTok because TikTok, you could just keep scrolling and kind of get into a bad headspace. I recently just deleted TikTok because of that reason, but if you can control that impulse to keep scrolling, maybe watching a little book talk wouldn't hurt either. Number 7 is buy a new book. Give yourself permission to get excited about books. That's what I mean about like watching another creator talk about books and their excitement about a book. There's something about buying a new book that gets you just really amped to read. Even if you don't read the book you just bought, something about the act of, going to a bookstore or hitting checkout on a new book just gives you that little hit of serotonin that might help you overcome your reading slump. I don't think you should buy, excessively because then you'll be stressed about your finances. But buying a new book when you're not really feeling like doing your hobby is still engaging in your hobby, in my opinion. It might just spark enough life in you to get back into reading. My last recommendations are those that have nothing to do with books. And the first thing that I do is when I'm, none of the other techniques are working, I play a video game. And I get lost and immersed in the video game story that I'm consuming. Sometimes that helps, and sometimes it only takes a couple of days for me to, consume media in that format before I can get back to consuming media in a different format, like reading or audiobooks. If video gaming isn't your thing, watch some TV. Maybe rewatch a comfort show or find something new, watch a movie. And it's okay to step back and consume storytelling in other mediums. This is not groundbreaking stuff. And again, for me, it only takes a couple days to kind of scratch that itch and then get back into reading, but maybe this will help you. Other hobbies in general, go outside, garden, go for a walk, go for a hike, be creative in another outlet, make some jewelry. I don't know. Whatever your, creative hobby might be, maybe that will be enough to kick your brain into that level that you need it to be in for reading enjoyment again. Lastly, it's okay to take a break from reading. If it's not working for you, that's all right. You have my permission. I'm giving you permission. Even if reading is your favorite and only hobby, and this is the only thing you do, it's okay. Don't stress yourself out and force yourself to read if you're not having a good time. The whole point of having a hobby is just to enjoy yourself. So if you just need some time away from reading, it's all right. Sometimes you just need some time away from reading, and that's all right. I know this isn't like groundbreaking things, but these are the things that I do if I'm really not feeling like reading, and maybe these will help you if you're ever finding yourself in a reading slump. What are some things that you enjoy doing to kick yourself out of a reading slump? I'd love your recommendations in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video of mine very soon. Bye.